Most people think investing is something you do when you finally have money sitting in a bank account. They wait for the perfect moment, the right amount, the ideal circumstances. But here's what separates those who build wealth from those who never start. Investors don't wait for money to think like investors. The mindset comes first, and the money follows. This isn't about stocks or crypto or real estate. This is about rewiring, how you make decisions every single day, even when your bank account is close to zero. The invisible line between consumers and investors. There's an invisible line that runs through every decision you make, and most people don't even know it exists. On one side of that line, there are consumers. On the other side, there are investors. Consumers ask how much something costs. Investors ask what the return will be. Consumers think about what they can afford right now. Investors think about what something will enable in the future. Consumers see a paycheck as money to spend. Investors see it as capital to deploy. This distinction isn't about having money. It's about how you process information and make choices. A broke person with an investor mindset will make fundamentally different decisions than a wealthy person with a consumer mindset. The investor thinks in systems. The consumer thinks in moments. The investor plants seeds. The consumer picks fruit. And this difference compounds over time into completely different lives. Consider how most people approach a weekend. The consumer mindset says, "What can I do that feels good right now?" The investor mindset asks, "What can I do this weekend that makes next month easier?" It's not about never having fun or always delaying gratification. It's about understanding that every choice is a trade. You're always investing something, whether you realize it or not. Time, energy, attention, money. The question isn't whether to invest. The question is whether you're investing consciously or just letting your resources drain away. When someone with a consumer mindset gets extra money, they immediately think about what they can buy: new shoes, a night out, an upgrade. When someone with an investor mindset gets extra money, they pause and ask, what could this become? That same $100 could be a course that teaches a valuable skill. It could be books that change how you think. It could be saved and combined with next month's $100 to create real optionality. The investor doesn't see money as fuel for immediate consumption. They see it as a tool that can build more tools. Your real capital when you're starting from zero. Here's the truth that changes everything. Even if you're completely broke, you're not without capital. You have time. You have energy. You have attention. You have the ability to make choices. These are the assets that matter most, and wealthy people would pay enormous amounts to get more of them. Every successful investor started by investing something other than money. They invested hours into learning. They invested energy into building skills. They invested attention into understanding how systems work. Think about time as your most valuable currency. You have roughly 16 waking hours each day. That's your daily budget, and it's the same whether you're broke or a billionaire. The investor asks, how am I allocating this budget? 2 hours scrolling social media is an investment that returns nothing. 2 hours learning a high-value skill is an investment that compounds forever. The cost is the same. The return is radically different. Knowledge works the same way. The gap between where you are and where you want to be is filled with specific knowledge you don't have yet. Investors understand that acquiring the right knowledge is the highest return investment available. The internet has made this almost free. You can learn graphic design, copywriting, coding, marketing, sales, financial literacy, anything that has economic value without spending a dollar. The only cost is time and attention. Most people won't pay that cost because it doesn't feel like spending money. Investors recognize it as the bargain of a lifetime. Skills are compounding assets. Once you learn something valuable, you own it forever. It can't be taken away. It appreciates over time as you practice. It opens doors that were previously locked. A person with high-value skills and no money has far more optionality than a person with money and no skills. The skilled person can always generate income. The unskilled person can only spend what they have. Then there are relationships. Investors know that your network compounds just like money. Every genuine connection you make, every person you help, every bridge you build instead of burn, these are investments in future optionality. The person who treats relationships as transactions will always be alone when opportunities arise. The person who invests in relationships without immediate expectation of return builds a web of goodwill that eventually returns value in unexpected ways. The framework that changes everything. So how do you actually think like an investor when you're making everyday decisions? It starts with asking different questions. Before any significant choice, investors run a quick mental audit. First question, what is this decision optimizing for? Most people optimize for immediate comfort or social approval. Investors optimize for future optionality and compounding effects. Buying an expensive car optimizes for status. Keeping a modest car and investing the difference optimizes for freedom. Second question, what's the opportunity cost? Every yes contains multiple no's. When you say yes to binge watching a series tonight, you're saying no to reading, to learning, to building something, to meaningful conversation. Neither choice is wrong, but only one is honest about the trade-off. Investors make these trades consciously. They know that the most expensive decisions are often the ones made on autopilot. Third question, how does this compound? Small daily decisions feel meaningless in the moment, but create massive divergence over time. Eating fast food every day versus cooking healthy meals. Scrolling before bed versus reading. Buying coffee out versus making it at home and investing the difference. None of these individual choices matters. The pattern over 5 years changes everything. Risk management is where most people completely miss the point. They think investors take big risks. Actually, sophisticated investors are paranoid about risk. They diversify. They build safety margins. They never bet everything on one outcome. Applied to life, this means don't put all your energy into one skill, one relationship, one income source. Build redundancy. Create backup plans. Preserve optionality. The person with multiple skills, multiple relationships, and multiple potential income streams is nearly unbreakable. The person who specialized too early and ignored everything else is fragile. Emotional discipline separates successful investors from everyone else. Markets go up and down. Life goes up and down. The natural human response to volatility is panic. When things are bad, we want to quit. When things are good, we get overconfident. Investors build systems that remove emotion from the equation. They automate decisions. They stick to principles when feelings scream otherwise. They understand that their instincts around money and risk are often completely wrong. This is why broke people often stay broke, even when they get money. They haven't built the emotional infrastructure. A windfall hits and immediately gets spent because there's no system in place, no automated savings, no clear allocation strategy, no emotional discipline to delay gratification. The money flows through them instead of compounding for them. An investor with the same windfall immediately puts systems in place. A percentage gets saved automatically. Another percentage goes to learning. Another to building assets. The amount doesn't matter as much as the system. Starting right now with what you have, the beautiful thing about adopting an investor mindset is that it costs nothing and starts immediately. You don't need anyone's permission. You don't need capital. You don't need perfect circumstances. You just need to start seeing your daily decisions through a different lens. That job you hate? An investor asks, what skills am I building here that increase my market value? That free time on the weekend. An investor asks, what can I create or learn that compounds? Even being broke is an investment decision. Staying broke forever is a choice to never invest your time and energy in building valuable skills and knowledge. Some people are trapped by circumstances, but most people are trapped by how they think about their circumstances. The investor mindset is the key that unlocks the trap. It's not about getting rich quickly. It's about making better trades every single day. Trading scrolling for reading. Trading complaining for building. Trading short-term comfort for long-term optionality. Your life is a portfolio. Some bets will fail. Some will succeed beyond your expectations. The goal isn't perfection. The goal is tilting the odds in your favor through better decision making. Investors understand that they're playing a long game where patience and consistency beat brilliance and luck. They understand that small advantages compound into massive ones. They understand that the best time to start was years ago, but the second best time is right now. The investor mindset transforms how you see everything. That's not an expense. It's an investment in future productivity. That's not wasted time. It's an investment in a relationship. That's not a setback. It's information that helps me make better decisions. This shift in perspective doesn't require money. It requires awareness. And once you see the world through this lens, you can't unsee it. Every decision becomes an opportunity to invest wisely or waste resources. And over time, those tiny daily investments compound into a completely different life. The question isn't whether you can afford to think like an investor. The question is whether you can afford not to.